you told the story a million times. If you wouldn't mind for those driving home to give us a little origin story.
I've always wanted my favorite Tommy James record, not that anybody really is listening to me anyway, but Crimson and Clover.
Well, thank you.
Where's that? What is that?
Well, that, you know, ended up being our biggest selling single. You know, the weird thing about Crimson and Clover was, and we didn't mean for it to be this way, but we left on the Hubert Humphrey tour, I call it. We went out with Hubert Humphrey in '68.
Okay,
Presidential campaign. And when we left, the Rascals, the Association, all the singles acts. The singles market was really going. So many acts, you know. Apples, Peaches, Pumpkin Pie came out that day, right? Yeah, right. And all that's just one hit single after another. We come back 90 days later, and it's all album acts. It's Led Zeppelin, Blood, Sweat and Tears, Joe Cocker, you know, Crosby, Stills. It was unbelievable, and really people don't realize how the world turned upside down at that moment. And we had been working on Crimson and Clover. Hubert Humphrey ended up writing the liner notes to the album. And but if we hadn't had that single, that particular single, at that moment, our career would have ended right there. I'm convinced of it, because Crimson and Clover allowed us to make the jump from AM top 40 pop to more album-oriented stations, what they called underground radio. And we were able to straddle the fence. And that allowed us to then make Crystal Blue Persuasion and Ball of Fire and the others, and allowed us to go on. So Crimson and Clover turned out to be so important a record to us, and I just can't.
Now, do you own the masters?
No.
Just curious. How about the publishing?
You really know how to hurt a guy.
Lonnie,
He already heard
I
Lonnie.
think Lonnie's wife does. Getting yours too.
Didn't hurt me. I refuse to answer. I plead the fifth.
Well, that's not that's not unlikely. I mean, most of the groups in that era. I mean, we all of us, you know,
That's
got
as personal as using the bathroom.
Yeah,
For me.
it was we signed away all of our publishing before we even written our first
You knew how to
song.
spell the word,
I mean,
right.
We didn't know what was going on.
Well, right, and of course Roulette Records, you must understand, Roulette Records was headed up by a rather notorious figure named Morris Levy, who was, you know, this was the Sopranos with music, you know what I mean? Seriously. And I kid you not. Who, you know, was very, the label was very notorious, and so you know, they drove hard bargains, and that was you know, publishing went along sort of like gravy with the meat, you know. It went along with signing, because but the one thing I learned from Morris was how important the writing was to have to a record, or the publishing was to have to a record. I don't mean to get us off.
No, when you mentioned the Sopranos, and that brings up an image to a lot of folks now.
Sure.
And so now I think that they're thinking, well, now wait a second, what's this record always like?
Well, honestly, just one little insight. I met one of the partners up there. They're all gone now, but one of the partners, two of the partners actually, ended up being, I don't know if I can say that. I'm going heads of the Genovese crime family.
Really?
Yeah. One of them named was Tommy Ryan, who Tommy Ebele was his name, who was Morris's partner. Morris also managed Alan Freed and George Goldman and Tommy. And the second character was a fellow by the name of Vinny the Chin Gigante, who ended up being, you know, he used to walk around Greenwich Village in a bathrobe pretending he was crazy. Remember that guy? He was a regular up there, and I mean, you know, just all kinds of characters like that. And we were making music. Here we are, these, you know, hayseeds from the Midwest, kids trying to make music in that environment, and it was nutty. I mean, it was really crazy. But you know, it was. That's why we don't own our publishing.
Thanks for asking, Mark.
Yeah, I guess.
Thank you. you brought down the spirits of two different acts
Yeah.
tonight and single-handedly
Well,
managed that.
Felix is at home because I asked him earlier.
I can't handle this. Let's. We're talking about Crimson and Clover, and that really.
Can we play it?
I think we can. You want to? You want to?
Yeah, listen, they're all dead.
So it's quite all right. Let's. You want to sing it here or do the studio version?
No, let's do. My voice is shot.
Is it okay? All right. Let's do the studio version of Crimson and Clover. Tommy James and the Shondells on Cool 105.
Crimson Clover.